We are back, Kenya football lovers. Welcome to Ball in a Ball studio for the best Kenya Football League review, and what a weekend it was. We just saw a massive FKF Premier League clash that is completely shaken up the top of the table. I'm talking, of course, about AFC Leopards, Ingwe, facing off against Tusker FC, the Brewers, this past Sunday. The result was just dramatic. So let's get into the bullet points. First up, AFC Leopards secured an absolutely commanding 4-0 victory over Tusker at Nyayo Stadium. This wasn't just a win, they completely ended the Brewers' winning streak by dominating the entire match, especially with possession and creating chances. Ronald Sinyonjo even got on the score sheet. Second, we have to talk about the incredible individual performance from Samuel Umole. I mean, he was the star of the show. The man scored a decisive hat-trick, which even included a 70th minute penalty. And get this, it was his second hat-trick this season. Just shows you his value. Finally, let's look at the consequences, because they were immediate with that win. AFC Leopards just seized the top spot in the league standings with 30 points, and for Tusker, the loss was so bad, their chairman Charles Maccabi announced the changes are coming to the club's technical bench because of these inconsistent results. Wow! Full game review coming up after the break. Welcome back to Ball na Ball, Kenya Premier League Weekly Review. Alright, let's just jump straight into it, because what happened at Nyayo Stadium, wow, an absolute earthquake of a result. 4-0. I mean, a scoreline like that doesn't just win a game, it sends shockwaves through the entire league. You have to understand, this wasn't just some run-of-the-mill match. No way. This was a proper blockbuster, a high-stakes showdown between two of the league's titans, AFC Leopards and Tusker FC. First place was literally on the line, and boy did it deliver. So, to really get why this result is so massive, you've got to look at the history here. The rivalry between these two clubs is, well, it's a big one. So look at this. The head-to-head record tells a pretty one-sided story, doesn't it? Before this match, history was completely on Tusker's side. I mean, 22 wins for the Brewers compared to just 7 for AFC Leopards out of 37 games. You know, the odds were seriously stacked against Ingwe, which just makes what they pulled off all the more incredible. So, the big question is, how on earth did AFC Leopards Ingwe just completely flip the script like that? Well, it all started with a first half that was nothing short of absolute dominance. I mean, they didn't just ease into the game, they came out firing on all cylinders. Samuel Lungoil, the man was just on a different planet. He gets the first goal in the 15th minute and then bam! 10 minutes later, he's done it again. By the time the halftime whistle blew, AFC Leopards were up 2-0 and Tusker, well, they just looked stunned. They didn't know what hit him. You know, this quote from the commentary just perfectly sums up the vibe at the stadium. It was electric. I mean, come on, that tells you everything you need to know about the emotion of that day. So, if that first half was all about establishing dominance, the second half was basically a coronation. It was all about the star of the show sealing the deal on what was an absolutely unforgettable performance. And they wasted no time putting this game to bed. First, Ronald Ngoy gets on the score sheet to make it 3-0. Right there you knew any hope for a Tusker comeback was pretty much gone. And then, well, Tusker commits a foul in the box and the referee points to the spot. Really, was there any doubt who was going to take it? The man of the moment, Samuel Ngoy, steps up and cool as you like, he slots it home. That's the hat-trick. The crowd just went wild. And get this was already his second hat-trick of the season. The guy is just on another level. Now, a beating like this, especially in such a massive game, is always going to have consequences, right? So let's talk about the fallout, because things started happening very quickly after the final whistle. Yeah, the reaction from Tusker was, well, it was swift and it was serious. The chairman, Charles Ngoe, came right out and said it. Changes are coming to the technical bench. I think for them, a 4-0 hammering in a game this big was just the last straw. But you know, beyond the drama and the scoreline, the biggest story here is what this result did to the league table. It caused a massive shift right at the very top. And look at this, it tells the whole story in one picture. AFC Leopards jump from second place all the way up to number 1, and for Tusker, it's a painful drop. They go from leading the league all the way down to 5th place. Ouch! So let's look at the actual points. AFC Leopards are now sitting pretty at the top with 30 points. Tusker, on the other hand, finds themselves in a real dogfight, tied with 2 other teams on 24 points. They are now a full 6 points off the pace. I mean, what a massive swing in just 90 minutes of football. So at the end of the day, this was so much more than just a win and 3 points. This was a statement of intent, a totally dominant, ruthless performance that gives Ingwe the bragging rights, sure, but more importantly, it puts them in the driver's seat for the title. So now I want to hear from you. What's your take? Was this a championship-defining performance from AFC Leopards, or do you think Tusker can bounce back from this devastating blow? Leave your comments below. Like and subscribe for more KPL review. I'm your host, Paul Lashope. See you next week. Bye.